Hello, my friends. Welcome back. So now we are on to module 1, section 3. This is the enrollment process. Now, what is enrollment? Enrollment is the idea of bringing somebody along for the ride with you. Why are they with you? How are they with you? When you're out to dinner and you're at a great restaurant, you've got this wonderful plate of food and you're like, hey, you gotta go to this restaurant. This was an amazing plate of food, right? What is it that you're going to say? How is it that you're going to be authentic? It's about sharing the good stuff, regardless of money. It's about delivering something to somebody that will give value to their life, right? And then inviting somebody along the way. If that not only do they want to do business with you, but they're going to do business with you. You just have to set it up in a way that will allow them to talk about you in positive ways, even negative ways. People that'll hate on you, people they don't want you're up to, that's not good. But you are a steward of your business. So how are you going to enroll people in what you have to say? Right? So if you haven't caught on yet, mentorship is a big deal. I want you to be a mentor. I want you to be a trainer. I want you to be a coach in your business for your purpose. What is it you do? Why is it you serve? Right? What did I do? I was a retailer. Who did I serve? Anybody who wanted to get their rocks off with the best toys in the market. Why? Because I believe that the Bluetooth toys are some of the coolest out there, right? You could be here, you could play with it there, like they don't have to be closed, right? You're bored at a work meeting, you're playing with your phone, they're making a vibrator go off at home, like go for it, right? That shit's fun. Did I enroll you in an idea of like, oh my God, sex toys? Like, hopefully, because it's fun, right? You want to get all hot and sweaty and sticky, but you don't want the new to get sticky? Hey, I got this great one that will never get sticky or gross, right? You get the stuff, you put it on your lips because of this buzzy, tingly, vibrating sensation, right? So there was this Taste and Teenies is an event in Hillcrest that throw the first Thursday of every December. We had a liquor license. And so we'll line up everybody to get their little free drink or the drink ticket that they paid for. But every single person came to my door and put this product on their lips. Causes that buzzy, tingly sensation. For 6 months after, hey, you got that buzzy lip shit. You got to give it to my girlfriend. She's got to try this. And then they go out to the bar drinking because when you play with it on your lips, it creates that sensation. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. All herbal, all natural, great for erectile tissue, right? So these are the kinds of things, these are the kinds of stories that I can't tell in public, at least not in normal situations, because it's very case specific, very product specific. But in this case, it's about the delivery of something that you offer that gives for a better application. How you speak, how you show up, why you're doing it. It matters. The passion behind it, the reason why it's fun. How do you gamify these things, right? How do you bring somebody in and say, hey, look, check this out. I'm not going to sell it to you unless you want it, but check this out. It's cool, right? What is cool about it? What makes it that you can nerd out about the thing that you're doing? What lights you up about it? I love the client journey. Why? Because I know what happens when the client journey works. I know what happens. I've seen it happen. I've watched it happen. I've watched lives change. I've watched mentors become masters of their craft because they understood the journey that they were on, because they had the decades of experience to back it up. I can sell you sex toys like nobody's business. Can I sell myself? Can I sell you on my process? Can I sell you on this kind of journey where you have to be enrolled in the concept in advance? How did I do that? Did I do a good job? Did I not do a good job? What do I need to work on? Because I'm always working on it. Because I obsess over what you do so that what your people do is better than what you're doing now. What do I mean by that? I mean that what you do is a legacy. It has the opportunity to affect your community in unseen ways. So we have to study those unseen ways. That means people that come away from your industry against you. Why are they against you? People that have abused your messaging. Why did they abuse your messaging? What happened that allowed for that to occur? So that means you either didn't have enough support for your customer, you didn't have enough training for your customer, you didn't have enough of a journey that could take your customer through the process that you were looking to do. See, in a brick and mortar environment, it's a lot easier to say, hey, look, this is my widget. This is what my widget does. Hey, do you want one? Cool. Go buy some. Go tell your friends about it if you like it. They're not going to do that when it comes to toys. They did that in my shop. Girlfriends would bring their friends in, like, hey, you got to come see this. Hey, you got to get one of these because this is neat, right? See, I can't give out brands because I'm still under the franchise conditions. So I can't tell you what toy I'm talking about. But I can tell you what that toy did. I can tell you what stories I have relating to it, right? There was a crowd-funded toy made by women for women to stimulate them, right? It was nearly $300, one of the most expensive things that we had brought in. My business partner at the time was my mom, right? I worked the shop, she stayed at home, she did her thing, right? And she yelled at me, called me up on the phone, why the fuck do we have this product? Got her one. I don't need to know the details. All I know is that the next phone call that I got from her in relation to that particular product, she yelled at me and said, you will never run out of this fucking product in our store, ever. It will always be there. Oh my God. I tell that to a woman? Better yet, she would come into the sales floor and she would go to town with these people and do all the stuff, like demo it and everything. It's great. Because she connected with people. It was fantastic. You know? And so those types of stories that connect, those are like, oh my God, I had this great experience. I want you to have this great experience. So I need you to come with me so that we could come together on this experience, right? These are the kinds of stories, these are the kinds of engagement that you want to have in your business so that not only what it is you're doing and why it is you do it, but that others want to join you in your journey. Because it might be a rough season for you. You might not be able to talk about certain things, but when you can talk about it, when you can show up, when you can find that power inside of you, when you can understand that the hidden things that are around you, why they're around you, is for a reason. For you to connect with them in a way that they can't be connected with otherwise. Because the thing inside your head that you can bring somebody along with you for matters more than what you're selling. Why they're with you is not because of a widget, it's because of the journey. So you have to be able to have an enrollment process. You have to be able to have some way that you can speak to them that brings them in, welcomes them in to safe places where they're afraid, right? I've already taught you magic is the science of understanding the control over your environment. You're not afraid of controlling your environment if you're a business owner. You are, in fact, in the business of controlling your environment. You want to control your revenue. You want to control your losses. You want to control your taxes. You want to control your staff. And this is the problem. When people control too much or they seek to control things in negative ways, they're going to death grip it, right? Nobody wants something death gripped. No, you want to be gentle with it. You want to keep the sensitivity there. You want to have a heart about what you're doing. You want to humanize your business. So how do you humanize an industry? How do you take network marketing, for example? How do you create a network that allows people to come with you where they're at? And they might hate you. They might hate the fact that you're doing network marketing because you know a thing or two about connecting people in a different kind of way than what they're used to. So they don't want to listen to you at first. But if they do listen to you, the rewards are phenomenal, right? It's like, I don't have to sell you on this process. You've already been through this process. If you're like me, you bought all the courses, right? You've gone through Project Next Level. You've gone through Pedro's courses or Dean's courses or Tony's courses. You've probably gone through the one funnel course with Russell, right? Well, the truth is you don't have just one funnel. You don't have just one course that you have to go through. You have a series of courses you have to go through. You have a series of journeys that you're responsible for learning how to do, teach, and share with the staff that you're about to train, with the people that are going to go through that journey and that process and that methodology with you. This is not a mindset conversation. This is a very strategic conversation, but only business owners that understand that they are not just in control of their staff and their environment inside, they're also in control of themselves when they deliver these things. So they have the responsibility to come with me on this journey of mentorship, that they have to step into that power. They have to have the voice to find that power, and they have to have the training to support it from the best in the world at it. Because otherwise, you're listening to the second best, you're listening to the third best, and they're giving you shit advice because they're not the ones that are currently behind why things are changing. What's the change that you're going to provide for your environment? How are you going to change it for that environment? And what is it going to be that brings other people in? What do you have that will engage them in fun ways, right? Network marketing isn't about, oh my God, I have this widget, I'm going to sell you this widget. No, it's about creating an experience of fun. What's a fun journey story, right? Working with people in the grief field, it's hard to make that fun. It's hard to make that exciting. But when you understand that if you serve people where they're grieving, you're not just serving people where they're grieving, you have a responsibility to go to the next level. That means you have to go to conventions and you have to speak on the stage and say, hey, look, I've lost so many people. I have a process that gets people through that. Go through it, see what you think. And if you need me to consult with you on a much larger scale so that I can be an asset to your business, then we can create a partnership. That's the kind of thing getting my people right now to do, all right? Creating a summit comes from creating an enrollment, creating a journey that brings people in, right? So it's not just about what I've done, it's about what my students are doing. It's about what my friends are doing. The people that I would invite over to my house once it's clean and gets all arranged, right? It's about bringing people along for the ride so that what message you have to say, they're the right ones to hear it, so that it doesn't become corrupt, so that it does not fuck up your environment, so that it doesn't screw your reputation beyond what you screw it up yourself if you lose your shit because somebody fucked it up, right? You want to be faithful to your messaging. You want to be faithful and congruent to yourself and what you understand yourself to be. You want to serve your version of God. But your version of God services your community first, your family first. Everything gets served before you. And by doing that and understanding that, you become the steward. You work the long hours. You put yourself in and you build your standard operating procedures. You go in the morning, you have your checklist, turn the lights on, turn the AC on, turn the display lights on, turn all the sound system on, set the music up, right? Throw out the garbage from the night before, or if you haven't done it already, mop the floor in the morning. God, I don't know. What's your thing? Like, that was my list for the shop, right? It was printed out. On the back side, there was another one for the night shift, right? Count in the register, load up the register, standardize your operators. Those are called schemas. The more you can plan out and the more schemas that you operate, those are the master lists. Those are what you can do in your sleep. But getting people involved in the creation of schemas in their own business is a very complicated process because they don't even know what the fuck they're doing half the time. People want to go into business, but they don't know business. They don't know people. They don't know how to cultivate that relationship. See, I was the kid. I remember I was in Bullwinkle's when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was in the office playing with my dad's receipt papers, like the papers that go into it. Like, I wanted to be a business guy. When I was a kid, I didn't want to play in like the ball pits or whatever. I wanted to play in business. I would follow it. Love that shit. Why? Because I understood that that's what changes the world. Business and the operations of it and going through the money and the cycling of the relationship and the transaction You get and you gain and you give. What is your process? What is it going to take to get people to go with you? What do you deliver to the marketplace in advance? You have to give your best stuff first. What did I do? I gave out the 13 lessons that I use to teach occultists. Not only do I teach magicians how to do magic, but I teach other mentors how to do mentorship, right? You know how hard that is? So you're say a priest, you're a priestess of some tradition of something, right? And you're doing okay at it, but you could do it better, right? You've heard the thing about the law of attraction. You've heard these things where there is an idea of causing manifestation, right? Well, the people that I teach, it's not 6 months, it's not 8 months. It's either instantaneous or it's within days or within a week or a month. That's it. Whatever I write down, we can make happen. Energetically speaking, density speaking, alchemically speaking, that is not bullshit. I have done that more times than I can count, and I've got the records to prove it. I would love to teach it to you, but the problem is I don't trust you. Why don't I trust you is because I don't know you. Why don't I know you is because I haven't seen what you're doing with your clients in a way that makes it work. So will I teach you how to do that? Absolutely. Will you pay me quite a bit of money to do that? Yes, because in that process, it takes away from me being able to teach others the idea. So if you're willing to pay, then you have my attention so that I can use that money to create a community and an enrollment process and assets and the things that will allow me to create a stewardship model so that when I'm not doing this to serve these people over here, I could spend my time working with you so you become a master of what you do. And in that process, that's how I get people in. It's the books, it's the community-driven stuff that I do, the live posts in my Facebook community, the email copy, the challenges, whatever it is. It's about causing change on purpose. So you have to be able to think about causing change on purpose. Why do you seek to be that change in other people's lives? What are you responsible for? What is going to get people to come through and work with you? Do you want to be able to write down your desires and have them manifest? Not because if it's an intangible thing, but because there's a very specific framework that you can use, practically speaking. You know, you might light the incense, you might say the words, you might do these things, but it's also about following it up with action. So yeah, you create your intent, but there's action behind it. You do something, you say something, then you follow it up. What action can you take as a response, right? So when it comes to creating your business, when it comes to creating your inner chamber of business, you have two courts, the outer court and the inner court. Right? Outer court is your client, is your customer, right? That's where everybody in the public goes. That's where they'll walk by, they'll see you. Sometimes they'll walk in. If they walk in, you have the opportunity to make them a client. How do you make them a client? Clients are long-term people. They are people that are going to stick with you when you are doing good. They're going to stick with you when you're doing not so good, right? But they know that what you have to do and what's on your heart to teach, to share, to grow, that's why they'll come back. It's because you always have something interesting. So stay interested. Stay relevant. Maintain the relevance. So that by doing that, you actually can demonstrate the authority that you have, not in one place, but in several. So what you do and what you offer becomes more than yourself. You have enrolled them to become a client. Now, in the inner court, there is your apprentice, right? Who is your apprentice? Who is the one that's going to steward your model best, right? For me, Dean and Tony, Pete, Pedro, those guys. Apprentices, high-level arch sorcerer, right? They are the bridge builders for controlling fate. Technical term, old school term. Proper term, not PC term. Don't give a shit. You're in my course. Live with it. We're done. Hang on. Close Close the window, go away. Shoot, I don't want to deal with you. I'm looking for people that are looking to change the fates of others and be responsible bridge builders. We are in the process of creating methods to cross the gap, crossing over the darkness so that there is a solution to it. So that if I can teach something, it can be taught in a different type of way, but in a way that other people that have learning disabilities can grip onto, people that don't read good, don't talk good, they can listen, they can learn, they can write down notes, they can do whatever the things are that they have to do so that way when they're able to in their time, they can do it. And that's what we're responsible for as business owners. We are in business to shift the lives of our community members, to create positive impact. My old motto, our business is your pleasure. Now, I'm still working on that. I want to say it's United We Stand because we link arms. It's the Urban Fellowship is my company. Right? United We Stand. Together, we can do anything. Anything. Why? Because it's about the journey together. It's about overcoming the darkness together. It's about shifting the lives of our economy, the people in our economy, the people in our social world, people in our environment that need to have a better way. We can provide that better way if people are enrolled in what we have to say. Why do they need to be enrolled in what we have to say? Is because we are mentors to them on that journey, in that time of their learning, so that they have trust that what we're delivering, what we have to do on this earth, in our time on this planet, can be done. And we don't have to wait to die to be in heaven. We can make it here. If people understood that they're not in competition with each other, they don't have to fear their neighbor. They don't have to be just trustful of the person next to them. They can be joined with them so that it's a good thing that they're enrolled in your business, that they're enrolled in your course. You have the moral obligation to figure out what words you need to say in order to get their butts in the seats and their pen to paper so that you can put that earworm in their head and your words can help change their spirit. If you can create that process in your people, if you can put their butts in a seat and get them to take notes, and better yet, from notes take action. I had an idea, and then there's a summit. It's not about what I have to say, it's about what the best people in the world are saying in their field, in their season, in their time. As I learn to speak in this way, as I learn to show up in this way, I am responsible for doing this every single day to the community that I'm in, to the people I'm serving, to the businesses that I bring into my world. Because if you come into my world, I'm going to help change your world. And if I can help change your world, you can change the worlds of others. And that's the goal, regardless of where you're at right now. Where you're going to be is where I want you to be. And I don't want you to be in hell. I don't want you to be in darkness. I want you to find that thing that will get people across the threshold from just being a customer to being a client that will come back over and over and over again, looking for that next thing that you've got going, looking for that next piece of information that you can deliver in a way that's solid, that not only has it proved your concept in the marketplace before you even get there, but that they're stewards for that message so that they can join with you and they can partner with you and they can work with you in a way you can't work with yourself. So that the message that you have to offer is something that is viable, is valid, and is important. These are the things that we represent in our community. These are the things that, as stewards of legacy for your business, right? It's not just the bricks and mortar guys. It's not just the building you're in and the widgets you sell. It's about everybody that comes and why they come to you for that widget. What journey are you taking them on when they cross that threshold? Are you going to show the newest piece of lingerie? Are you going to show the newest pair of food? You know, are you going to show the newest, coolest sex toy? Like, again, that's my background. That's what I did for years. Why? Because every customer was different. Everybody has their own need. And it doesn't matter. This is the really cool thing about high-level business thought. is it doesn't matter what you're doing, why people come to you is always different. Unless it's like me going to Subway and I want the same sandwich every goddamn day. Creature of habit. I like my sandwich. Right? I don't eat that sandwich. I eat the same sandwich when I go to Subway because I like that. Right? That's why I go there. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Repetition, right? But that's a consumable. That's a convenience. Going through business training, going to an adult store, did you know less than 1% of people go to those places anyway? So that's like already kind of weird. But the people that are interested in what you have to do and what you have to say are going to be that 1%. You don't have to talk to everybody. You just have to find the right people to talk to that will let you do your thing while you're learning how to talk, while you're learning how to share, so that you can bring others on the journey, so that you can share in a way that no one else is doing, so that you can provide back in a way that no one else can. That's why the enrollment process is so important. And that's why you're responsible for it. And that's why you're responsible for creating one. So you have to rethink. You're not going to make it with people if when they walk in your door, you're all about that sale right off. It's like, hey, how are you doing today? You know, it's like, do you need any help finding anything? That is a crap way to start a sales conversation. Oh. Thing I always said, when I always get my employees to say is like, hey, welcome. If you need any help, let me know. Are you up to anything nifty? They're like, no, I don't need any help. Or no, I'm not looking for anything specific. You know, well, I didn't say that. I said, are you up to anything nifty? Like, what is it that you're here for? Like, what you doing? Like, this is my industry. Why are you here? Get them to tell you in their words. You'd be like, okay, cool. Do your thing, bro. You know, go have fun. Go party. Yeah, hey, by the way, if you want to see something cool, check this out. You know, let them walk around, let them do their thing, you know, kick the tires, whatever. But you have to have something very, very cool and love it so much so that you will nerd the fuck out about it. What will you nerd out about in your business? What will you go to town on for hours and hours and hours and hours? Unlike anybody else around. And yeah, again, I love the networking. I'm an introvert. I don't like to go to parties. I like to throw the parties because I like to know everybody in the room because I want to control who comes. Because I don't want bad people in my life. I don't want shitty people in my life. I don't want abusive people in my life. I will make sure that anybody who comes through my events is a good person. And what do I mean by good? I mean that they will uplift other people. So does that mean my pool of people is smaller? Yeah, but they're better at what they do because they're masters at what they do. They understand the journey. They understand that process. And they have the heart to serve. So it's not about the money at the end of the day. It's about that enrollment process that they've got, that you want to be a part of, that you want them to be a part of, so that you can create something that's so much bigger than just the bricks and mortar that you're in, just bigger than the widget that you sell. It's not about that bag of chips. It's that quick convenience. It's about that relationship that you cultivate for years and you make better. You fail and you make it better. You fuck up, you improve it. You figure out why you were broken. If you're pissed off at somebody, you fix yourself, you fix the thing that was broken, and you go back at it. Because that's where you're going to get success. That's where I got it. That's where I'm getting it. You know? Like, it's okay to be weird. Be weird. You go through my Facebook groups, you go through my community groups, I will go through my weirdness, and I have reasons why I'm weird. But what I'm going to do with that is going to help other people so that it's not just me in that season going through it alone to be weird and creepy. It's because I know that there are benefits to what I'm up to that will allow for different types of thought, that will allow me to take this model and manipulate it a little bit more. So that way I can figure out how to bring other people to it. I can attract other people through what I'm creating, through what I'm speaking into this. So that way, in your period of darkness, you can do the same thing with your community. And this is why enrollment is so important, is because if you can bring other people to you with what you have to say, you have enrolled them successfully. You have created engagement where otherwise there would be none. You know how important that is? Do you know how successful that is? That's almost unheard of in this day and age. So I've been able to speak into Fortune 500 companies. I've been able to create a thing for Tony Robbins to demonstrate. Like, heck yeah, but I want to do it with you. I want to know what you're up to, because it's not about what the Tony or the Pete or the Pedros, the Russell or any of them are doing. They already have their communities. They know what they're up to. They know their business models, and they're doing it with whatever is congruent to them. And that's my thing about mentorship. And that's the thing about enrollment, is that it's all about your journey and what you're going to do for the people that are in your legacy. You have to be able to do these things, right? So you have to be able to create that environment for people. And if I can help you do that, I hope that this stuff that I've said will get you there a little bit faster, so that you don't have to be afraid to send out that first email, say, hey, look, I'm terrible at this thing, but I need help doing this. But remember, when people pay, they pay attention. It's not about high ticket stuff. It's about consistent stuff that will deliver on what you say and why you're saying it. But the message that you have. So yeah, it might not be 100% like famous Purdue studio, but that doesn't mean it can't be used by fancy, fabulous people. That doesn't mean it can't be used by quiet, reserved people. That doesn't mean it can't be used by those that will help their community be bigger than themselves. And that's the thing about your business, is that you're not just a convenience. You are an institution. You are the thing that other people come to for a solution that no one else can give them. It's why you exist in business. So what is going to be the thing that allows people to come back to you time and time and time again? Service, passion, love your customers. Not like love your customers because like that's some like shady shit. But no, no, don't do that unless you know. Private events, private rooms, do your thing. All right, I'm not going to judge. Again, adults are. But in business and in network marketing, it's a different type of relationship, because you're courting the customer. It's do for them without the seedy shit. Like, have fun with the information, do your best with it, and then you pay attention. Do their program. If they're going to build a program based on your models, go through it, improve it, and then send them an email saying, this is where it went wrong, fix this, and you'll have a better result. That's what I did, and I continue to do, because I like to support the people that I'm trying to uplift. I also like to know what they're saying, and I like to know how they're saying it, because if they can say it in a better way, then I want to learn that better way, because then my enrollment becomes better, and so can yours. So these are the thoughts I'm leaving you with today. This is why it's important, is because if you can figure out these things and what you have to say and why you're saying it, you're going to have a lot better business in the long run. You're going to have much deeper connection to the people that you serve in the long run. And you'll be able to create community between competition, right? Collaboration, not competition. So that means if you're in the funeral home business, okay? That means you're going to have one kind of funeral over here. You're going to have one kind of funeral over here. And the people you cross refer, right? It's like my business specialized in first timer toys. I did not sell stripperware. I sent that to the other company. I did not specialize in large toys or event spaces. That was the other company. So I sent people to those places. And so we have to do that with our place. We have to do that with what we do and develop. So if I can't serve you, I will find you somebody who can, that will serve and fill in the gap. And that's what a mentorship should do. So that way you know who's in your community, you know why they're in your community, and you know what they're about, so that if you have something that you need to have addressed, you know who you can go to. You know why you can go there, so that it doesn't feel like you need to shower afterwards. Right? Let's remember that, in which case, go to the bathhouse. Not judging. Again, adults. This is a different framework. but it's not. It's a journey, it's a path, it's a purpose. Why are you doing this? Why do you need to enroll people in your message? Why is it important? I know it's important for me to get this out there and this message to other business owners because it will improve the lives of their employees. Because if you're talking in a different way than other employers, if you're helping uplift your own employees to giving them access to your trainings, to your mindset approaches, to your skill sets, to teaching them what you need them to do in a different kind of way, you're going to create engagement in-house that's unlike anything they've ever worked with. So they're more apt to stick with you the long term, so long as you pay them well and you treat them right. Yeah? If they're happier, they're going to do a better job when you're not there. Just saying. I got to experience that. My health was bad. Like I've got some physical issues, so I don't get out into the physical world very often. I stick digitally. Like I needed to be able to control everything remote, right? So I needed to know that when I spent time in a place, that they understood that there was a framework, that there was a foundation, that there was training that they had that allowed them to step up where I could not. And where I lacked, I could get better. And I had the courage to stay off to my abusers. I am no longer in business. I am no longer dealing with the people that were behind some of the most traumatic events of my life in the last 5 years. Not doing it anymore. Could not do it anymore. But I found a community. My friends helped me build a community. Had resources to do it. They were outside of my own making, right? That's the most important thing, is if you can get people to do something you need them to do, and they actually do it, and they actually help people along the way while they're doing it, that's something powerful, guys. Y'all, like, what is it that you can do that you can give to somebody else so that they can do it too? Right? That's what you need to think about when you're in your enrollment period, so that you can change the way that your network is built, so that it's not this CD like, oh my God, I'm just going to sell you something. No, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to show you some stuff. You're going to be able to put some shit on your lips that makes it vibrate. Like, you're going to get all like tingly and like buzzy in a good kind of way that you can do in public. Not like, you know, that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of passion. That's the kind of heart that you have to have for your business. Because that's the stuff that gets you through those dark times. That's the stuff that makes light in the darkness, right? So anyway, think about that. Apply it. Develop it out. It is important that you have an enrollment process for your business. It really is. Because that's your journey. That's what I taught my staff in those first 30 days was I taught them about the toys. I taught them about the ingredients of the toys and why it's important. And then in the next 30 days, I had them, so by day 60, they were able to teach it back to my customer. So that by day 90, they were able to seek out information on their own and they were hungry for more information. So they got better than I did. And if I can make my students better than me and deliver better, I have done my job as a mentor. But that doesn't mean I've failed because they're better. That means they've become the best in what they do, or they have the opportunity to be better in that season, in that time. But it's the network that allows me to then say, somebody who isn't, I'm going to refer you to them. So it gets them business. And then we create an affiliate relationship so that there's money that comes through. So that the lifetime ticket price of a client, of somebody, it's not just the $100 that they spend to buy the course or whatever it is that this is going to go for. Or it's not however much the VIP is to get the backstage passes to whatever event that I'm throwing. It's about the lifetime investment. I'm after lifetime investment, legacy, stuff that will change people's lives and the lives of people I will never meet. But I want to be of service to those people. So in the time I have you, that's how I enroll you. So if you can understand that your business represents the same thing, I've done my job in teaching enrollment period, and teaching you the application of it in the marketplace so that you want to do that with your people, so that what you do and why you do it and how you do it and all of the things, you can do it in a way that no one else is doing it, because you're you. You have your stories. You have your experiences. You have the things behind you to back up what you say. So go through it. Create a list. How do you demonstrate it, and who can you teach it to? Who is the first person that you can teach it to? Create a challenge. Then teach it to a group. So that way you don't trade money for time. You trade time for money. The way that it works is you want to be able to streamline your process, right? Being able to have a message and an awareness of your message that precedes you in the marketplace before you even get there is the best way to do that. And creating an enrollment process where small groups of people know who you are and they want to do business with you and they're working with you to do business. So while you're in your period of refinement, and you might burn some bridges and you might build some bridges, but the messaging and the purpose behind stays the same. You are there to serve. You are there to lead. And you are there to develop things in a way that no one else around you is doing that. And that is your responsibility. You have that moral obligation to do that. And once you understand that moral obligation to do that, and you can pass that along to somebody else, that they are morally obliged to do what they do best. In the case of my shop, it was to orgasm the best way they could with the best type of technology, with the best type of lubricant, so that way they got the best experiences. So it wasn't just like that sticky, gross material that dissolves if you put the wrong lube on it. Yeah, no, that's bad. You want to be able to have something that's different, but you want them to come along with you. What does that process look like for you? How is it that you can teach that process in a deeper way? I've given you solutions. I've given you stories. Use the mechanics. Break it down. What is it that makes you do the same thing, but in your way? So until next time, folks, think about these things. Apply these things. Test these things in small Facebook community groups. Get one person, get two people. Work it back and forth until you feel like you can do 4 people, 6 people, 10 people. Do it in groups, do it in stages. So that way you scale out exponentially, right? It is important. So until then, be good. Good at it, guys.